Live from the 13 Now Digital News Desk, this is the Friday Night Fever Afterburn with News 13's Courtney Mims and Sam Granville.
Hey guys, welcome to the Friday Night Fever Afterburn show where we break down all the high school football highlights in the area, give you guys some scores. I already see people in the comments talking about scores tonight. We're going to start off very quickly. I know that's what everyone wants to know. If their favorite team won, we understand. We're going to go over that. I just laughed because in the comment section, I think Ray Mitchell said, did Chipley actually win 97-0? That was going around on the rumor mill tonight that Chipley won 97-0. It was not true. They won not quite. They won 47-0. So definitely not 97, but we heard that here at our studios as well. So if you guys heard that, not true. That would have been an absolutely incredible amount of points to put up in a high school football game. But let's go over some of those scores right now if we can. Spencer, if you can pull some of those up for our fans out there. We had a lot of shutouts tonight, Sam.
Lots and lots of shutouts out there this evening. Of course, we see the game that you were at, Steinway, Mosley and Rutherford. That one called early. What was that like being over there on the sidelines? I saw lots of Mosley highlights.
Yeah, it was pretty much all Mosley all the time. I think every single time I looked up, it was Mosley scoring. I even missed a score because it happened so fast. While I was on the sideline, I looked away for a second. I went, oh, they just scored again. Great, I just missed it. So if you caught that in the highlights, you might have seen that tonight. Hey, meteorologist Grace Thorne, we see you watching on our stream. Thank you. Let's go over some of those other scores, though. Port St. Joe shutting out – oh, sorry, I totally missed that one. Port St. Joe shutting out Mariana as well, 36-0. A lot of people were asking about that Holmes County North Bay Haven score. And the reason why we didn't get it on the show, and Sam did say this, it might have been quick, so you may have not caught it, but the game was delayed like some of the others like Mosley. Well, it ended up being canceled, but it was delayed because of lightning tonight. So the final score was Holmes 28-10, and Freeport and Bozeman getting it close there, 36-26. Sam, you want to go over some of the other scores for some of the people?
Absolutely. In Holmes County, North Bay Haven, that wasn't the only game that was had some rain this evening right after I left Port St. Joe. Apparently, for the whole second half, they had rain out there. That one was also shut out. But Bozeman and Freeport, 36-26. That was another one of those close games that we had tonight. That one could have gone either way, but Freeport pulled away at the end. From what I was hearing, a lot of big plays on Freeport's. Just really, Bozeman just couldn't handle it at the end of the night. Their secondary was leaving them some gas over there at Freeport, but then a 10-point win for Freeport.
Yeah, and some of those, I think Spencer has another graphic with some of our other scores this evening. I see someone in there in the comments saying Bluntstown 1-0. You're correct, Mickey Allen. They are 1-0 because Bluntstown won 39-0. They actually went to Georgia for their game tonight to Seminole County, which I think is really cool. They got to go over there, Sam, because last year with COVID-19, a lot of schools were confined to the Panhandle. So it's nice to see them actually get to go out of state, take on another team they haven't really seen before. You know, Georgia high school football is just as competitive as Florida high school football, maybe even more. And they still ended up getting a win, which I think is really impressive. Jordan Pride showing up and showing out in that one tonight as well.
Let me tell you, that young man, he's that Florida State commit as a sophomore, and you can just see the length and athleticism. He's about 6'2", 180 with, and I mean that wingspan. He probably has close to a 6.5, 7 foot wingspan.
Yeah,
that kid has a true talent over there. And
incredible.
And whenever I see that Marshall, or Seminole County, excuse me, it reminds me of Marshall. You know, Marshall over there, the green, and
it does.
Didn't quite work out for them today. Is Bluntstown rolling easy?
No, not at all. I see a mom in the comments here says she's a Walton mom. Well, she's probably very happy tonight because Walton actually shut out Vernon tonight 54-0. I see someone else, Kevin Eve, said, what happened to Vernon? Well, Kevin, if you watched our high school football previews, you might know what happened to Vernon. They are rebuilding this year. They have a lot of young players, a lot. They had a lot of those talented guys go on and graduate. They don't have their big quarterback in Marcus Hammock anymore. They don't have some of those big talented receivers anymore. So that's what happened to them. And my hearts go out to that team because they really are trying to rebuild, and it's tough to do that in 1 year.
It's very tough to do that, and especially when I went and visited the team a couple weeks back, they have 3 seniors on the roster.
Yep.
Just 3 in the entire school with that
My
football
goodness.
team. They have 3 seniors. That's very difficult to do. I mean, not just to win, make a deep run in the playoffs, but just to win games in general with just 3 seniors. A lot of youth over there, but they're very hopeful for the future. Just if tonight's any indicator, I don't know. We weren't out there for that one, but next week we'll have to see if it's Walton with the powerhouse or Vernon just once again in that rebuild.
Yeah, definitely. Some other games here tonight. Michael Welch says Mosley looking good. Yeah, Mosley does look pretty good. I was actually really impressed with what I was seeing from Mosley out there. And unfortunately, Rutherford in a similar situation as Vernon. It's a rebuilding year for the Rams. So honestly, I think it's one of those things where you have to look and say, listen, we're going to go up against a powerhouse team like Mosley, and we're going to do our best, And like Sam said earlier on, this game was called with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the second quarter. So I don't want to know what would have happened to this score had there been a second half play, because I think it genuinely would have been all the Dolphins. I think Coach Whitten would have had to have put in his second string just to see how they handle it.
We talk about that rumor of the game going 97-0. I don't know if it would quite get to that mark, but Mosley looking impressive, and something about that Tommy Oliver magic, like you said last week in the preseason, the opening kick was returned for a touchdown. The opening kick of that game was returned for a touchdown, but called back. I mean, lots of magic there. Here is that
opening kickoff. I mean, this was just incredible. I really wish it hadn't been called back due to a penalty because there was an illegal block back there. You kind of do see it in the highlight, but I really wish it wasn't called back because, man, that would have been a way to start a game for the Mosley Dolphins. Kick off your season with a kickoff return for a touchdown? Come on. It doesn't get any better than that. This is high school football. I'm really excited to see what the Dolphins do this year. I really am.
And talk about Tommy Oliver Stadium and the Dolphins next week. We got a pretty big match.
I know everyone's watching that match. I think that's been circled on the calendar. If you know what we're talking about, Mosley versus Bay. I'm excited to see because the Tornadoes, they've been building. I mean, they had such a great season last year, and now they're going into this season with kind of hey, we want to win. We want to win, and we want to go to the playoffs, and we want to get as far as we can. And going up against a Mosley team like this will be the true test. It will be.
No kidding. I mean, this will certainly be the match of, who kind of is going to assert their dominance in Bay County this year, because from what we've seen early, North Bay Haven getting lost, but Mosley and Bay, they're doing pretty well. So I think that game will maybe establish who's the top team in Bay County this year.
I don't want to say it. But I think it definitely will. Who will establish who is the shall we say it, the GOAT team of Bay County this year?
I would say so. and I was on Twitter last night, and there was already some kind of shots being fired between the two programs. Bay played last night, and they put out a tweet that said, good win. We look forward to next week. It's Bay High versus Bay County. So, I mean, talking maybe about that high school recruiting going on in the area. Coaches getting out there and off, unofficially recruiting. But Bay High calling out Mosley, calling them Bay County, the team that they got to face next week.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. I see Coach Olds on the feed here. Hey, Coach Olds. He says, miss calling on Friday nights, but loving the dad life. And I love that. I have to say that's a great comment. And Chad Bracken here says they're new coach in Chipley. He's right. There is a new coach in Chipley. Sam, you know exactly what the Chipley mentality is this year. It's not an easy one, is it?
Oh, no kidding. The coach over there in Chipley, he's coming in, and he's already let his players know his players are fully on board. What was the quote he said? If your bone is not sticking outside of your leg, you don't need to be coming off the field.
If your bone is not sticking outside your leg, we are playing. And that's what Marcus Buchanan, he's taking on this real dog mentality. And the players have all rallied behind it. It's not like they're saying, oh, we can't do this, we're not talented enough. I mean, they're hitting us up every week on Twitter. They're hitting us up saying, are you coming to our game this week? Well, trust me, we went to their game this week, and we saw just how good they were with a shutout over Graceville. Now, Graceville, a team, again, like Vernon, like Rutherford, a team that's in a bit of rebuilding this year. They're trying to build up their program, but still a huge win for Chipley Tigers week 1.
No kidding. Like we said, it was the battle of the Tigers, and I know that new recruit moving back into his hometown. He actually grew up here, and now he's back in his hometown of Chipley. And as a senior, he's looking to make a lot of big plays. Alcethony McGee, I mean, that might be the man to watch this year. I mean, if they put up 47 points, I want to see his stat line later this week, see how many touchdowns he put up.
I want to see the stat line, too, because we were saying his name over and over and over again, the highlights. I'm sure we're going to be saying his name over and over and over again in the weeks to come. Now, I don't know, Spencer, you'll have to let me know, but I don't know if we have some of those week 2 games, if you pulled some of those up. No, none of the week 2 games. That's okay. We have 2 that I do. We brought up one of them, which is Bay versus Mosley. But the other big one that we're going to want to watch out for tonight is South Walton versus Walton. That game will be played in South Walton for those who are asking. And that game should be good. To see how Walton came out as an offensive powerhouse, we've got South Walton as an offensive powerhouse as well. With they're returning their quarterback. They've got I'm trying to think. The tight end, Pierce Spurlin. Tight end going to Georgia.
Just a small name over there.
Yeah, just a small name. Don't hate me that I forgot it just now. But Pierce Spurlin, I mean, man, this is going to be a battle to watch out for. This could be the best game. I know Bay Mosley is one that everyone's watching out for, but South Walton and Walton could be the best game in the Panhandle next week.
That cross-county rivalry over there. Once again, we saw Walton putting up over 50 points tonight. That was something that South Walton did often last season. I think they averaged around 37 points per game last year, and they're bringing back all of that offensive production. Their quarterback, the receiver, Cade against Spurlin. They got a lot of weapons over there. And they think that they can get it done on the defensive side of the ball. We'll see the true test next week, as now we see both teams can put up those numbers. We're really going to see if the defenses can shut it down.
And South Walton, Spencer, right, won over Jay tonight. Well, there was a shutout as well over Jay, correct? Yes. A big shutout over Jay as well. So both teams with shutouts in their opening game of the year. I think that bodes well for a pretty good matchup next week. So we'll have to see how that goes. I see Michael Butler supporting his Tornadoes next week. I see you there. Hopefully everyone shows up and shows out for that game. And LaToya Bell is correct. Walton does have a new coach as well. Keith White is their new coach. So look, we've got Chipley and Walton with new coaches, and they're already doing great in week 1. Do you think it has to do with the coaching change, Sam?
I will say, over there, those new coaches, they seem to be getting it done. Mosley, Chipley, Walton. Again, Keith White, he's somebody that I met for the first time over at a 7-on-7 this summer. He's looking to kind of get that program back on track over there. And if it's any indicator tonight with a 50-point win, I guess we'll have to see next week as they take on, once again, like we said, South Walton. But once again, right, Keith White, he's getting it done over there.
Getting it done.
Early on, 1-0 start for Walton.
Well, we had a bunch of people sound off in the comments tonight who they were supporting, but as always, you can watch all those highlights on Friday Night Fever here on News 13 each Friday night at 10:15. We'll join you each week after the show on our Afterburn show. Again, just, sound off in our comments. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you want to see. Hey, if we didn't cover something that you guys want to see, we want to put it on the show. So let us know. Please, please, please let us know. This show is basically, for you guys, just to break down everything, give you guys some extra stuff after our on-air show. So let us know. We're going to sign off for now, right, Sam? Anything else you want to add before we leave the good people? Oh, yes, we do have something extra for the people.
Back over the Gulf County is for the play of the night here, Colin Amison. And once again, I showed it earlier, but look at that.
Wow.
Dime. He's finding man Oliver, and he just got it done on both sides of the ball. DJ Oliver getting it done, catching it there. That was just an absolute great snag.
Oh, can we see it again, Spencer? Pass. Oh, I just want to see that pass once again. Flying through the air.
Amison, he dropped back. Just look at that. Drops it right in there.
Oh my gosh.
And,
wow.
I gotta say, Port St. Joe early on in the season. I know. Once again, it's just week 1, but they came out and just absolutely lit up Mariana from start to finish.
And Mariana's a higher class team. It's not, they're a 1A school going up against all these 4A. They're going against I think they went up against a 6A, if I'm not incorrect, over summer in some 7-on-7s. And everyone has said the same thing. I ask every coach in the Panhandle, well, who do you think is a team to watch out for? And every one of them say the Port St. Joe Tiger Sharks. Why is that? Because I think they've got a good squad over there, and we saw that tonight against Mariana. We thought that was going to be a great game of the week. Look at us over here thinking at News 13 that was going to be a great game of the week. It should have been Weewahitchka Liberty County, but that goes without saying. But, man, I cannot wait to see what Port St. Joe does this year.
Coach Jones was telling me tonight his only concern with that team is going to be depth, because he's got about 15 guys, the core guys that are playing on both sides of the ball. They have some depth, but it's a lot of youth. They have some middle schoolers and ninth graders over there, but it's really about a core 15 guys playing on both sides of the ball. We saw DJ Oliver. I mean, he had a forced fumble tonight. He had rushing touchdowns, catching touchdowns. He's going to be a big force for that team on both sides of the ball this year.
He really is, and I can't wait to see what they all do. Well, now that we've done the play of the night, we've awarded it to DJ Oliver. Congratulations, DJ. You are our player of the night winner. You don't win anything like a prize or anything, just our congratulations and our praise on how cool that catch was. That's about it. But that's all the time we have for tonight on the Friday Night Fever Afterburn show. We'll see you guys next week, same time, same place, right after our Friday Night Fever show. But you're going to want to watch the Friday Night Fever show on News 13 each Friday night at 10:15, because we don't go over the highlights here. You can only watch them on News 13. So please tune into that show next Friday. We've got some great matchups for week 2 of the season. We'll see you then.